Well, welcome everyone. We're excited to have you guys here with us tonight. Tonight is something that, as I was saying just a few minutes ago, I'm excited about to do. My name's Brandon Cunningham, and we hope that those of you that are here tonight will have invited some folks that maybe are business owners, are aspiring business owners to hear what the LifeVantage opportunity affords us. Um, how could I say this? Well, I've done this for closing on 15 years now. Okay. So I do speak with a level of experience. I won't say expertise, I will say experience about this business model. But prior to that, 20 years in traditional business. So I bought my very first business, true story, when I was 22 years old. I met a guy that wanted to sell his business, and that business was an elevator refinishing business. Now, I know a lot of you are like, huh? What? Like what? Basically, what we did is we took elevators that had started to tarnish or turn brown and ugly. We made them bright and shiny again. And then our favorite people were the people who put graffiti. They would take like their keys or something sharp and they would write something in the elevator, preferably a curse word, because the owner of the property really wanted that off as quick as it could get off. And so we would oblige. You want us there quicker? No problem. It's going to cost you. Here's the downside of that. Um, that business, a lot of road work. I live in Florida. I'm up in the central West Coast, the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area. Most of our work, the money was down in Southeast Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. So that's 4 hours from home. So that's one problem. Second problem is it was night work. Like when everybody was going home, we were going in. So if any of you guys out there that maybe own businesses that you do a lot of work on the road, so the hotel life, not eating good food because you're just eating restaurant food. And then if you are anybody that works night shifts, you guys can feel my pain, right? The final piece of that was the chemicals we used. The chemicals were so bad that the gloves that we would use would melt in the chemicals. And we'd have to change the gloves throughout the night because they would just melt. I could taste it after a few years of doing it. As soon as my hands would hit the chemicals, I could actually taste the chemicals in my mouth without obviously putting. So it was bad. So, needless to say, guys, we got rid of that business. We had to sell that business because it was killing me. We were making good money, you guys. So like at 22 years old, there were nights where I made cleared $1,000 or $1,500 as a 22-year-old. Like that's good. Like that's really good stuff, right? And that's 30 years ago almost. Okay. So we're talking 93, 94. Okay. Um, However, I had to get rid of it. So the first message to you guys is even if you're making a lot of money, at some point you have to draw the line with a business. Okay. And I reached that point. I'm like, I got to get out of this business. Can't do nights anymore, can't do the chemicals. I got to roll. So we got into real estate and also into the automotive business. I had been buying real estate. Real estate was always my way out, guys. I used to joke and tell people, I am going to be retired at 45. And they would laugh at me. Um, and it's because most of my friends had already been in like the 9 to 5 grind, and I'm not built for that. I'm sorry, I'm just not built for that. Like someone telling me when I have to be at work, someone telling me how long my lunch break can be, someone telling me how many days off a year I get. Like I just couldn't do that. And that's what drove me into owning my own businesses. So real estate was the long play. So as we would make money, my wife and I lived very, very frugal. We would take that money and invest in real estate. I'll come back to the real estate conversation in a second. But we got into the car business. Never in a million years did I think I would be in the car business. What we did is we had contracts with the different dealerships where they would buy a used unit, they would clean it, then they would turn it over to our company to cosmetically look as new as possible. So we would take dents out, we would paint bumpers, we would repair scratches. We in the inside of the car, we would take the stains out of the carpets and the burns out of the seats and all that. So basically, the dealers would pay us about $400 or $500 a car, and then they were able to be charging the user, the buyer, $3,000 or $4,000 more. So it was easy money for them, right? And we did that for a long time. And then 2008, 2009 came. And you guys remember what happened in 2008, 2009. If you don't remember, let me refresh your memory. Gasoline over $4 a gallon for the first time in American history. The if you had a 40, here's the joke. If you had a 401k, it became a 201k almost overnight. Everybody's investments, their portfolios dove, right? It was a financial crisis around the world. If you owned a home, you guys know that really quickly most people were upside down on their homes. And unfortunately, we didn't own one home. Well, we owned one home, but we owned 13 investment homes with 12 mortgages. Yeah, I see your head shaking. You guys are like, oh no. Oh yeah, that's us. Okay. And so we real quickly went into not panic mode, but it was a fire sale. We didn't have to do bankruptcy. We didn't have to do foreclosure. But let's just say it was a really big life lesson that sometimes there are financial situations that arise that are outside of my decision and control, but affect my family. That 2008, 2009 affected a lot of families. In fact, if you're in your 40s or 50s or beyond, for sure you felt it firsthand. If not, your parents did. And so that's when I was introduced to this company and this business model. And I've got a friend that's going to be joining. Says Skip jumped on yet? If not, I can go a little bit longer. Skip's
I'm
on. Okay,
here.
awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Skip, I'll be to you in just a sec. So here's what I will tell you guys. If you don't own a business yet, most people that I know would like to own a business. Most people do not aspire to be an employee for their entire life. They would like to own a business. And the reasons are simple. It's more choice. If you own the business, you get to make the decisions, right? The downside of that is the risk. Let's face it. Like, so why isn't everybody a business owner? Well, one's financial. Most people don't have 50 grand or 100 grand, 200 grand, $500,000 or more to buy an existing business. So if you're not buying an existing business, then you're starting a new one. And new ones are hard, like they're expensive to start. And as you guys know, the reason why most people will buy a business is because most startups fail. You have a better chance of success in buying an existing business than a startup. But that's why they cost so much money. So there's all these things stacked against people for owning their own business. And it's why most people don't do it. But there's one reason and one reason only to own a business, and it's freedom. The whole purpose of owning a business is to make enough income that you get some extra income and time to do the things that you want to do. And you're only going to do that by making a lot of money by yourself, or which is hard to do, or you're going to bring in a team. You're going to partner with a team. You're going to have employees come in and you're going to get leverage so the employees can be working and you can kind of sneak off and do some things, right? And I totally understand that mindset because that's what I was doing. But for a lot of people, they're not able to get their arms wrapped around owning a business because of the expense, the lack of training. And let's just face it, today in the world we live in, things are getting harder. Like if I asked all of you right now, are things like, is things getting easier for your family financially, or are things getting harder? And let's take it one step further. For you and your friends, your network, are things getting easier or they're getting harder? In the chat, in the chat for you or your friends, Are things getting easier or harder? What's the sentiment around the United States? There you go. I mean, everywhere I go, people are complaining about the price of eggs. They're complaining about interest rates. They're complaining about the cost of insurance. Things are getting expensive. And you guys, I could go on and on. We don't have time tonight, but there is more credit card debt right now than ever in American history. You know why that is? Lack of money. It's not because they have an abundance of money. It's because lack of money, right? And there's some other issues at heart there. But I want to bring Skip in because Dr. Skip Campbell is a good friend of mine. Both of us have reached a point with LifeVantage that well, I'll let Skip say, but I can tell you this. I am earning more money at LifeVantage than I ever earned in traditional business. And so that's a good thing. Like if you're going to be in business, earning more is better than earning less. And I believe Skip's the same way. Now, Skip was a doctor. Skip is a doctor. Skip is a cool dude. He likes to joke around, but he's highly intelligent. He won't say that, but I can tell you he's highly intelligent. But Skip has some horror stories too about Skip. Will you tell them the story about your X-ray machine that you told me just a couple days ago?
I will, but real quick, you were talking about how much we make. Is this the Mexican cartel, Brandon? Can I
No,
tell
don't
everybody
no,
how
don't
much?
go there. Skip told a story from the stages in Mexico, and I was like, Skip, you can't do that in Mexico. Like that's no, stop saying that. Like get
We
off
get
the stage.
kidnapped. Yeah, absolutely. So, like Brandon said, there's a couple of reasons to own a business. I found out probably a little like Brandon did that when you own a business, you're owned by your business. And I went away. I was actually teaching a class. I did a lecture up in Breckenridge, Colorado in the wintertime for the Colorado Chiropractic Association. And it had gotten real cold. And then the next day, Saturday, everything thawed out. We had a pipe in our unit, the main pipe, water pipe in our unit froze and then thawed out. And it pumps 5,000 gallons of water a minute for 2 days into my practice. When we got back to practice, we opened the front door to open for business on Monday morning like normal. And right away, I could tell there was something wrong. It didn't hit me right away, but right away, I could tell there was something wrong. There was the sound of rushing water, which was not normal. And then the other half of my practice was gone. The 6 or 8 feet of sand underneath or dirt underneath the practice got washed out back, and the floor sunk 6 feet. So I walked over to the side of my practice, and my X-ray machine, which cost a couple of $100,000, was submerged in water. It was literally a foot or two underwater, the whole thing. And I thought, that's not good. That's probably not going to work out very good.
No X-rays this week.
No, no, it took 6 months. 6 months. Luckily, I had Aflac, and so the duct put a mobile unit out front, and I worked out of that for a little while until I could get the thing rebuilt. But I mean, you talk about a headache, Brandon. You talk about geez, I'd rather have not a headache I would want to repeat. That's for sure.
Let me ask you this, Skip, because most people think, doctor, chiropractor, like that's like one of the pinnacles. Like, that's like when you look at the American dream, like the Campbells are killing it.
Yeah.
So why did you want to sell? Like, why did you sell that practice?
Well, I was doing well. Like you said, we had a large practice. I saw professional athletes, teams, living the dream. I grew up a Bronco fan, and so having season tickets and being treating the Broncos was a dream. Um, and Jill and I were making probably $30,000 to $35,000 a month, bring home. But what happened to me was that if you know any chiropractors, most don't make that kind of money, and you have to work hard, bro. You've owned businesses. If you want to get to that level of income after tax, after overhead income, and my overhead was probably 15 to 20 grand a month. On top of that, I had to make $15,001 just to make a dollar, and so there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. But I had to work really, really hard. So I was teaching a class at the University of Colorado Medical School. I was working part time in a hospital, and I was doing a lot of lecturing. And all of a sudden, I'm missing the thing that I became a business owner for: the ability to go to a ball game, the ability to watch my daughters dance. My time was being spent building that practice instead of having any kind of leverage. I had employees, and the problem with employees is they're employees. They don't own the place. They're not like you. They don't care about it like you care about it. My wife and I had front desk people. We had other doctors in there. They just don't care like we care. So if a patient calls in a tremendous amount of pain on a Saturday night, you got to go.
Yeah.
And so I wanted my time just like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. So for all of you guests that are here tonight, maybe you own a business, maybe you aspire to own a business. Um, Skip and I have transitioned. We didn't go back to being employees. We just transitioned to a different business, and that's what we're here to discuss tonight. Is the model that has given Skip the time. Ironically, I'm not a golfer. But Skip and I both golf today. If you see my face, it's a little bit red today. My son asked me 2 days ago, my 19-year-old son asked me 2 days ago to go golfing today. And, at 19, he's busy. And then I'm like, you know what? If he's asking me to go spend some time with him, I'm going. The tee time was at 12:45. I couldn't do that if I was in a traditional business. Could not do that as an employee, but I did it today. And I could do it tomorrow and I could do it the next day because of this business model. So if you're out there and you're looking for more, if things are getting harder, if things are not getting easier, it's you're missing one thing and it's leverage. You're missing leverage because if you get enough leverage, things get easy. And that's what this business model is about. So I'm going to share my screen. Skip, I'm going to show just a little bit of our flagship product. And because I believe, guys, listen, I know a lot of you that are on here maybe got on to hear more about the science, and we're gonna do this quick, okay? But I believe you do not have a business opportunity unless you solve a problem. If you don't solve somebody's problem, there's no opportunity. Like if you serve food, the opportunity is someone's problem is they're hungry, right? But I also believe the bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the opportunity. And my friends, this company, LifeVantage, has solved one of the biggest health problems that there is. And this is how big of a problem is. Most people don't even know it's a problem. That's how early we are. Most people have never heard of oxidative stress. They go, oh, yeah, I'm stressed out. No, no, no. It's not what we're talking about. Oxidative stress. Well, let me share my screen. We're going to jump into this. Real quick, we're just going to hit the high points because I believe you guys need to kind of hear more of the why behind this. Can you guys see that okay? Or are you still seeing me? Wait a second. Are you seeing this thing? I'm seeing thumbs up. Okay, good. So check out this
Put it
apple,
in
guys.
presentation mode though, Brandon. We can see
Oh,
all the
okay.
time.
Let me should have gone. Should just be here. Huh. Oh, wait a second. Let me see if I can change it here, maybe. Nope. Well, for sake of
That's okay.
time,
Yeah, we can see all the sides, but
we'll
now we
roll
can.
with it. We'll
We're
roll with
good.
it, okay?
Okay.
You guys have seen this happen in your kitchen. An apple. Maybe you bite into it or you cut it open, and if you don't consume it, what happens? Watch the apple. It turns brown. That is oxidative stress, guys. And our bodies do an amazing job. So that same chemistry that you just saw, well, now it's going back to its original state, right? Wouldn't that be incredible? That same chemistry is happening in your cells right now. And the only way to stop it is to stop breathing. That's not a good alternative. Okay. So oxidation is going to happen. Number one thing people ask us because we have a product that slows that down. Some people will say, well, how long do I have to take this product? And I say, how long do you plan on breathing? Because you're going to be oxidizing as long as you're breathing. The other thing I ask is like, how long are you going to have a refrigerator? And they're like, well, that's a dumb question. I'm like, no, it's kind of relevant because the refrigerator doesn't make your food taste better, it just makes it last longer. Are you getting rid of your refrigerator? No. So you guys, we're going to oxidize. It's going to happen. Your body makes these incredible, incredible enzymes when we're younger, but as we age, our body makes less of them. This is what happens. So the production of this enzyme, the long word superoxide dismutase, SOD, without it, you can't survive. It takes care of the free radicals. It does a beautiful job, but only until we're about 20, 25 years old. And then the production drops. When you take our flagship product, Protandim, it's an activator. It activates your cells to make that enzyme again. And literally, an 80-year-old has the same amount of, on Protandim, has the same amount of oxidative stress as a 20-year-old. And if you're on this for 90 days or longer, you have the same oxidative stress as an infant. Now, if you don't know how big of a deal that is, ask somebody that's really smart in the medical field if oxidative stress is a bad thing or good thing. And if they know anything, they're going to say it's bad. And if you want to know how early and how big of an opportunity this is, ask the doctor, what is your solution for oxidative stress? Ask them, what drug do you prescribe? There is none. But this product is patented to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. That's what we know. Skip, can you jump in? I think you can. Just give them a couple minutes of what you think about this flagship product as a doctor.
So I got to tell you, as a chiropractor, as a business owner, you can agree, we got approached a lot by companies, and as a chiropractor, I got approached by every MLM out there with their super juices or super berries or whatever. Never really was interested. When I heard the ABC primetime video, which is important to know, most times ABC primetime investigative reports does a report on MLM, doesn't work out so good. Their ABC primetime video that they did on Protandim turned out to be literally our best video we've ever done. And when I heard John Quinones say it can lower oxidative stress 40% in 30 days, I was like, what did he just say? I literally remember, and you've heard me tell this, I looked at my wife and said, if that's true, it's the most important supplement in the world. Now, it turned out it's not a supplement, but I was half right when I told her that. It's the most important thing a human being can put in their mouth. If you can lower oxidative stress, that might be the single most best thing you can do for your health. I've had people walk up to me and ask me, well, will it help with this or will it help with that? Oxidative stress is what ages you, damages your cells and your DNA, and does so many bad things. And you got to ask yourself, do you want to have XYZ disease with low oxidative stress or high oxidative stress? And the answer is 100% of the time, low oxidative stress. The only time you want to have high oxidative stress, you're trying to kill yourself. So then we had one peer review too. I think you remember at the beginning, Brandon, and we were just getting our second. Now we've got 30. And so there's probably about 32 or so peer reviews in the world today on a company being able to lower oxidative stress in humans. And all of them are Protandim Nerf 2. It's crazy to think that even after 10, 15 years, nobody else can do it yet.
Yeah.
There's 300,000 or 400,000 articles on oxidative stress on PubMed. We're the only thing out there that can lower it. Nobody else can do it yet. It's crazy.
So guys, here's the thing. Like I tell people all the time, there are some multi-million-dollar opportunities out there that are pretty insignificant. Like there's a cover on this cell phone. Would you like to be the only company in the world that sells cell phone covers? Do you think that if there was only one, do you think you can make some money? Because I bet all of your cell phone, I bet 99% of your cell phones have a cover on them. Because they're expensive and they get damaged. And for $10, you can get a cover, or $20, right? It's ridiculous. You do it. Guys, that is a problem, but a bigger problem is health and aging. And we are the only company in the world that has this product. And there's studies. Look, PubMed, look at this slide. Go just type in Protandim at PubMed and the studies will blow you away. We're talking like Harvard, Free Radical Biology, that's a journal, right? Colorado State, American Aging Association, VCU, guys, National Institute of Aging, Ohio State. Like these are big universities that have studied Protandim. This is what Skip was talking about. You won't find that anywhere else. So if you have any entrepreneurial bones in your body or entrepreneurial spirit, you guys, this is a unique opportunity. And by the way, that product is not $300 a month. It's not $400 a month. You can get it delivered to your door for about $2, depending on where you live and with taxes. Call it less than three for sure. For less than $3 for sure. For most people, under $70, maybe even $65 a month, you can have that product. Unreal, guys. Unreal that this is available to us. And for me, I had never done this business model. I'm not a doctor, but I had skin cancer. One of the studies, guys, that you can go and research, go look it up. Just go read the stuff. I can't connect the dots for you. Like I say all the time, because we're not a drug, we can't say that we treat, cure, mitigate any disease. So that means I can't tell you everything I know. That's what that means. I wish I could tell you everything I know. Look me up, hit me up on social media. Let's have a conversation. I'll tell you what I know, but I just can't do that in a public forum. But spend enough time in PubMed and you connect the dots. It's unreal what this product does. Okay. So I had never done this, but I knew I was going to take this product. I absolutely knew. So looking at the clock here, moving on. We have gone into a lot other areas of activation than just Nerve 2 activation. Cellular activation is at our core, but there are other important things in your body that you need, and it would be better if your body made it instead of you supplementing it, like collagen. Our collagen is world class. Our collagen helps you, it puts collagen in, it helps your body make more collagen. We just launched a new GLP-1 product. If you don't know what that is, that's the hormone that controls your appetite. There's a craze around this world right now around some synthetics that are helping people lose weight. Well, we've got a way to do it with plants, and we can increase GLP-1 production, your GLP-1 production by 140%. Proven human studies. So lots of stuff that you need to learn about if you want to geek out on the products. At whoever put you on here, absolutely get back with them and tell them, hey, these are my health goals. What product should I be on? Everybody starts with that blue bottle in the middle. Please, please, please make a deal with me. Everybody starts with that blue bottle in the middle, and then you add on top of that depending on your health goals. Okay. So here's a little bit about the company. We're coming on 16 years in a couple months. We're publicly traded. This is last year in Times Square. We are on the NASDAQ, guys. I happen to be in the room. In fact, I happen to be in that picture in the right back row, right corner. I was there at Times Square. This is not a startup company. We are debt free with millions of dollars in cash. I can promise you, if you're joining a company, debt free and cash on hand is important for the longevity of the company, because the opposite, heavy debt and no cash, ends up usually out of business. All right. I'm going to skip this example just for time. Here's probably one of the most important slides, and then I'm just going to go back to Skip and I to wrap this thing up. I could ask you a few questions, but because of time, here's the question. Have you ever played tug of war? Of course. But have you ever done it alone? I hope not. Why wouldn't you do it alone? Because you would lose. You're not going to outpull 10 or 15 people unless they're children. Okay. But even then, you may not. So I got another question. Why are you playing financial tug of war alone? Meaning, if you don't work for a month, is your family okay? Because when you're in tug of war, is it true that sometimes you put out like a lot of effort and you kind of hit the wall and you got to kind of let up for a second just to get a break? Well, and the others are digging in. Have you ever played tug of war? You can't tell me you stay at the same intensity the whole time, especially if it's a tough one. There's those few moments where you take a breather. If you take a breather and you own your own business, you're out of business. The difference is, guys, in this business model, we get to go out and pick the A team. Like if you're going to play tug of war, you're not going to get the little guys. You're going to get the big ones, the strong people, right? Because you want to win. So we get to build our teams. We get to go out and try and partner with doctors like Dr. Campbell, and put together a team of people that are pulling. And when we do that together, we create financial freedom for one another. That is what's missing. If in the chat, when you guys said things are getting harder, here's what I know. Just about everybody that said things are getting harder, They either have no leverage or not enough leverage. Because I know Dr. Campbell did not put in the chat things are getting harder. They're not. Because when you get enough leverage, it means there's enough income. It's not that we like paying more money for things, but it just doesn't affect us the way 2009 crushed us, guys. It was devastating. Did COVID affect a lot of people? Did a lot of people lose their jobs because they weren't essential? It's ridiculous. Like people out of business that were owned businesses for years and years and years and years. And so with this business model, all of us, every one of us in the chat, if you were in this business in 2000 and 2001 during the rough times with COVID, would you put in the chat, just type a 1 if you got a check every month from this company? If you never missed a check through that whole time, no supply chain issues, put a 1 in the chat if you never missed. And you guys, for the guest, I want you to look at the chat because we never missed. The company paid us every month residually. So I'm gonna end the share there. Let me just say this, guys. Here's how you join us in this business. You get with the person that put you on here, and instead of telling them the reasons why you can't do this, because here's what we hear: I've got no time, I've got no money, I'm busy. Well, here's what I know: no adult wants to be too busy, and no adult wants to not afford things. So instead of saying I don't have the money, here's what you should say: help me find a way to get this done. Because it's really a mindset. A business, when Skip's x-ray machine fell through the floor, he had to fix that. He couldn't just sit back and wait till someone fixes it. He had to fix it. No one's coming to save you and your family financially. You have to fix it. And so we have to think differently. Entrepreneurs think differently. They don't look at this and go, I've never done this before. They go, that looks like it solves a problem. Show me how to do this. That's what you need to do. And just tell the person that put you on here on a scale of like 1 to 10 what your level of interest is. There's like 3 or 4 main packs. The most you're going to be able to invest is around $1,000. The most. And it's the one I suggest. It comes with the most product, which gives you a lot of advantages. But there are several options. There is an option for every budget. Let's say that. Okay. Skip, I want to turn this over to you just to kind of maybe give your final thoughts on why you think someone should do this business.
Thanks, B. Man, you did a great job there. You talked about solving problems. When my wife and I just become chiropractors, it was because I wanted to help solve problems. You know, we wanted to provide an alternative. Now you could say MLM might be also an alternative to the traditional forms of, being an employee and working for somebody else. But I wanted to help solve problems. And we really loved that part of it. The great thing about network marketing is we get to also solve problems. Now, we get to help people be healthier. There's no question. You and I and everybody on here, distributor-wise, knows Protandim has helped so many people. So we get to solve that problem, that oxidative stress problem. But my favorite conversation, and I know your favorite conversation, B, is the business. And when you can help somebody, overcome a problem, solve a problem, maybe make their plan B, plan A, that is ultimately really, really fun and really rewarding. And I know it sounds cliche, but if you don't help a ton of people make a lot of money, you're not going to make any money in this business. The reason Brandon is sitting right there and hosting this call and sitting at the top of the company's comp plan is what that means to you is that he has helped a lot of people get a check. It's also really, really, really rewarding. And so my only thing I would say to sum up is, well, there's 2 things. One is urgency matters in this business. Urgency matters. In my opinion, like I do this analogy all the time. Brandon's probably sick of hearing it, but I joined the business and started working, and we started talking to people, and those people started talking to people, and those people started talking to people. We worked our guts out, and we got to the top of this company in 30 months, and it wasn't fast enough because Brandon should have been in my group, and he wasn't, and he's not, and I hate that he's not. He should. I knew somebody who knew Brandon, and I just didn't get to him fast enough. My wife didn't get to him fast enough, and now he's in somebody else's group. And I would way rather root for him in my group than root for him in somebody else's group. So urgency matters. Don't let your Brandon, whoever he is, don't let him show up in somebody else's group. We will show you how to do this business eventually, or ultimately. What he said was, it can cost you $1,000. Just to put this in perspective, it cost me 300 to get open your business. It cost you maybe 1,000. When Jill and I opened our business, Jill and I opened our business. We didn't have anybody telling us what to do and how to do it. We didn't have anybody grabbing us by the arm and saying, this is how you do this business. This business model, is it perfect? No. Is it the best way out there for the average person? There's no question. And so what I would just echo what Brandon said, make your decision, make it quick, because that's what successful people do, and then lock arms with the person who got you on here. Let us show you how to do this business. And it will be, I mean, financially, the ROI is ridiculous compared to my chiropractic, and I bet compared to his businesses.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, my last thought is this, guys. When it comes to decision making on this, if you've got another opportunity knocking at your door that's better than this, go do it. Go do it. I used to tell people all the time, listen, I didn't, when I got introduced to this, I didn't fall in love with it immediately. But here's the facts. If you don't change something, nothing's going to change. That's I didn't want to do this. My wife basically told me that. She's like, Brandon, if we don't do this, nothing's going to change. Right. So here's the deal, guys. If you have the free time you want and you have the extra income, then you don't need to do this. I mean, become a customer. You do need to get on the product. I hope you value your health. You should, every set of ears listening to this, if you're not activated right now, get activated tonight, because your body will thank you. On top of that, guys, if you are looking for an opportunity, here's what you've got: a publicly traded company, debt-free, that has exclusive rights to a product that slows cellular aging. You've got a person that wants to do this with you. The person that invited you here wants to do this with you, and they are aching to show you the simple systems to follow to build that team. Like, they are aching to build not their team. This isn't about us. They're aching to build your team. They want to help you build a massive team. This isn't about us. Help you build a massive team, because if we can do that, we all win this financial tug of war that we're in. And at the end of the day, as it says at the bottom, my whole mission, guys, is 3 words: moving families forward. That's what I do 7 days a week. When my eyes are open, everything I'm doing is to move my family and other families forward. If you are ready to move your family forward, there's a group of people here to do it. The fastest way to move your family forward is to put yourself in an environment where there's other people doing the same thing. Get out of the environment where people are still broke, still complaining, still people, still doing the same thing, but like, get away from the still people and get in the environment where people are moving forward. That is LifeVantage. That is the person that invited you. And I hope to see you. Skip and I will be in Salt Lake City in a few months. If you're really serious about moving your family forward, come see us in Salt Lake City. Come see amazing Angie Harper. She's incredible. This whole thing, Angie came to me. We were in South Africa. She asked to do this. So give her some love in the chat for organizing this, because putting this together is not easy. So Angie, I'm going to kick this back over to you. Sorry, went a few minutes over, but thank you so much for having us on.